Honestly, being an introvert sucks most of the time. I mean, when there's a party, this is literally me. Especially when I don't know anyone. And on a scale of introvert to extrovert, I'd probably position myself in this area. So I started filmmaking and photography over a decade ago to have a hobby and job that's just fun to do alone. You can just shoot products or landscapes on your own and then edit in your room without ever seeing anyone. I mean, that's perfect! But, of course, there's a point in everyone's career where you see all these great street photos on Instagram and get yourself a liker, because why not? And now you're stuck between wanting to make the camera worth it by getting those cool street shots that you see all over the internet and locking yourself up in the basement because you don't want to see anyone. I know this may sound like a lie, but you can actually learn how to become a more extroverted person, at least when it comes to street photography. To make this as easy as possible for you, I thought of 5 steps that helped me personally become a more extroverted street photographer. Remember, this is where I started. So I think if I could learn it, you'll probably be able to learn it as well. But I want to point out beforehand that as an introvert person, you actually trained your whole life to become a street photographer. Let me explain why. As an introvert, you're always the guy that listens and observes others, which is one of the most important aspects to become a good street photographer. Okay, but now let's start with the first step to get you more extroverted. To get used to shooting around others, you should start shooting objects. These can be details, abstract graffiti, interesting shapes, or simply architecture. Even if it isn't that fun for you, it can help you get more comfortable shooting in public. This can also lead to better pictures in the end, because you start to train your eye to look for those interesting shapes and objects that you can later use for street photography with people as well. As a next step, you should start getting pictures of people by using reflections. This is especially great because people tend to look at you, as it seems really weird to see someone shoot into a window. They probably don't get that in reality you're actually shooting them. Using reflections is also a really great style choice, because you can fairly easily add a foreground element which increases the visual depth of your image. But definitely check if there's someone behind the window, because this can lead to the most uncomfortable situation of your life. Believe me, I know what I'm talking about. Now it's time to really start shooting street scenes. To keep your distance, I recommend starting with a longer focal length. An 85, for example, allows you to capture some great moments without holding the camera directly into a stranger's face. Although I'm not really a fan of tele street photography, as the field of view is quite narrow, it can definitely help you to transition from reflections to one-on-one shots. Oh, by the way, if you wondered how I got those tele shots with a 28mm fixed focal length, I didn't. I used my big Sony a7S III with an 85 and felt like a paparazzi shooting these examples for you. I'd say that's worth a like. So, when you thought buying a camera with a fixed wide-angle lens is a great idea, I'm sorry, but you have to skip this step. Although in the end, it's definitely to your advantage, because a setup like this is much more sneaky. This step is quite simple. Start with wider shots and work your way closer to the people. You'll see that you'll get more comfortable over time, and I promise it will get easier to photograph people from a smaller distance. Oh, and by the way, if you like the pictures I showed you so far, definitely check out my Instagram, as I'll post Leica street photography content over there every other day. All these tips so far can help you become more aware of your surroundings by using details, reflections, and various distances for your shots. But let's move on with the last step, which is on an introvert expert level. Although it may not be part of street photography directly, it can lead to great results when you start to talk to people. I know how this sounds, but let me explain. What I did and what's currently my way to go is asking older people as they tend to be more relaxed with it. And work your way up to the girls that will get you all the likes on social media, because let's be realistic, that's currently the case on every social media platform. But that's it for today's video, and good luck on your journey. I'd love to read your experiences down in the comments. Bye!